Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Lady in the Water, and this movie is directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and it stars Paul Giamatti, Bryce Dallas Howard, Jeffrey Wright, and I've never seen this movie before, believe it or not. There's a bunch of M. Night Shyamalan movies I never saw because I heard that they were bad, and the ones that I haven't seen, at this point at least, are The Village. I haven't seen The Happening. I think I've seen parts of The Last Airbender, but I don't think I've seen the whole thing. And I haven't seen his more recent movies like Old and Knock at the Cabin, because I just wasn't interested in checking them out. But this movie I found to be not as bad as I was expecting. I wasn't expecting much because this was pretty much the movie that marked the point in time where people just stopped caring about M. Night Shyamalan movies. They pretty much just found them to be bad after this movie came out. And for having that reputation, I was expecting something almost unwatchable, but surprisingly enough, I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would, though I don't really think it's good. But there were things that I did like. I liked Paul Giamatti in the movie a lot. He was pretty great in the movie. And Bryce Dallas Howard did pretty good, and a lot of the acting's pretty solid. The only performance that I found to be distracting was M. Night Shyamalan. And normally when he's in his own movies, it's just a cameo appearance. But in this movie, he's an actual supporting character. And whenever he was on screen, I found him to be very distracting. But going back to positives, I did like it that there were shots in this movie that went on for a decent amount of time, longer than the average person might expect. This movie doesn't get bogged down by bad editing choices at the very least, for the most part. And one last thing to say about this movie is that I think the music is great. I think it works very well. James Newton Howard did the score for this movie, and he did this score for a couple of other M. Night Shyamalan movies, I believe, Unbreakable being one of them. Really great music for this movie, and that's probably the best part about it. But unfortunately, it's just not in any service of plot that I really care about or characters that I'm attached onto. You might be wondering why I'm not using the word story. That's because Bryce Dallas Howard's character's name is Story. And I'm trying not to make any puns for people who've already seen the movie, nor do I want to confuse anyone at the same time. So I'm just going to call it the plot. I just found it to be very simple and unnecessarily long for what it is, and it's also pretty slow. I found the tone of this movie to be very confused. I never really got a good sense of what it wanted to be. Did it want to be a fantasy movie? Did it want to be a drama? Or at times it's kind of a bit of a horror movie? What is it trying to be? And it just doesn't balance these tones very well. And it's just all over the place. And the visual effects, I guess they're passable for 2006, but you can definitely tell when they're being used, I'll say that much. There was a really bad chase scene in this movie, and the way it was executed was just laughable and didn't make any sense. And as much as I liked a lot of shots going on for a bit longer than one might expect, like I've said earlier, a big criticism that I have with this movie is that so many shots are just way too close and tight, and it just made everything feel very claustrophobic for me, unintentionally. And it was just done that way in scenes that did not need to feel that way at all. I was just wanting a wide shot, and I wasn't getting any. And there's a scene in this movie where Paul Giamatti jumps into a pool, and the shots are so close on him, you can barely tell what he's doing. I don't understand why you would present a scene that way. Surely you want to see what's going on, but most of it you can't even tell what's to either side of him. And it's just very weird. The characters in this movie don't really talk like real people, and the dialogue is pretty bad, and I just couldn't get into this movie because of the dialogue. I mean, also, there are other reasons, but that's another thing that was holding this movie back for me. The portrayal of the movie critic, he was annoying and just was not handled well in any way that I liked. And one last thing to say about this movie, the scene of the kid predicting the future just by looking at cereal boxes was pretty funny. I laughed pretty hard when that happened, and if the movie was more funny bad, then I probably would have loved it, but unfortunately, that's not what we got. We got a movie that has good performances in it for the most part, and great music to go along with it. And the movie looks nice at a couple points, but unfortunately, that's all it has to offer. So unfortunately, I'll never watch this movie again, and I would recommend that you skip this movie. So with all that being said, I'm going to give Lady in the Water a 4 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of Lady in the Water, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Bride of Chucky. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.